Okay, back to the OG setup because I got tired of filming in my bedroom and I think it looks better here. So I'm so sorry that I ever switched it up on you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Unless you are new here, then welcome. My name is Jasmine. I'm a music business student, artist manager, and avid fangirl that makes music commentary and reactions here on this channel. If you want to stick around and subscribe, would love to have you. Today, I want to talk all about Fifth Harmony. I feel like Fifth Harmony has been a hot topic online this whole year simply because of the mess of Fifth Harmony, and they've become memified, if you will. So I've seen them all over YouTube and TikTok and Twitter especially, with people just making fun of them, talking about the mess that was the girl group in their time together. One of my fellow creators, Casey Aonzo, made a really hilarious and fun video about the messiness of Fifth Harmony. So it's been just like a hot topic online right now, especially because I believe they recently had their 10 years as a girl group. So I kind of wanted to contribute to the conversation and do a little bit of a deep dive of their career on this channel, but not just a deep dive of their career. I want to talk about why Fifth Harmony had no longevity, the pitfalls of Fifth Harmony, the things that were wrong with them, what set them up to not last in their career, because I feel like their career wasn't as long as it could have been, and they didn't have very many albums, not a lot of music out at all. So today we're essentially going to be doing a little Fifth Harmony deep dive, talking about all their pitfalls in their career, what went wrong, why they didn't last, all of those things. These girls are so fascinating to me for so many reasons, so I'm really excited to get into it. But first, I want to say a humongous thank you to glassesusa.com for sponsoring this video. Literally so excited to be working with this brand because they're a perfect fit for me and all the work that I do, so it was kind of a match made in heaven. Glassesusa.com offers over 10,000 prescription sunglasses and glasses, including in-house brands such as Muse and Amelia E, as well as designer brands like Ray-Ban, Gucci, Oakley, and many, many more. And it's all up to 70% off retail prices. My personal favorite thing about glassesusa.com is their blue light blocking lenses. These advanced lenses are ideal for protecting your eyes while you're working at home or working at work or even going outdoors because they do have glare protection and a UV block. These blue light lenses are absolute lifesaver for someone like me who is constantly working at home, staring at computer screens all day, editing and scripting my YouTube videos, and I also do school online, so it's really, really helpful to have blue light blocking lenses. They help me stay focused on the work that I'm doing and make me feel so much more energized than if I was just staring at my screen without them. I actually have 3 different pairs of the blue light blocking glasses from glassesusa.com, and I picked all of the frames myself. One of the frames, the ones that I have on right now, they're just clear lens, silver. I picked out the color in the frame, super, super cute. I also picked out these that are more of a gray color, and they're also blue light lens. And then I wanted to do some that were colored because I didn't want to just get all clear. So I got some blue ones that, yes, again, are blue light glasses, and they're super, super cute. The white ones are super chunky as well. I really love this style of just chunky glasses. I'm absolutely in love with them because not only are they blocking blue light from me while I'm working, keeping me energized and focused, but they're also just super stylish and cute. You can just wear these and they look cute. But glassesusa.com not only specializes in glasses, they're also the perfect place to stock up and save on contact lenses. You actually get 25% off of all contact lens brands like Vista Plus, Biofinity, AccuView, and so many more. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of glassesusa.com's choices, then you could take a quick 1-minute quiz on their website and it'll just suggest the right pair for your face shape and your personal needs. The website also has a super cool virtual try-on tool that'll help you find the right pair. I used this tool to find mine and it was super, super helpful since you're not in store getting to try on glasses. Well, you can still try them on online. You just find the frame you like, click on see frame, then try online, and you'll be able to upload a picture of yourself, set where the eyes are, and easily see how the frames will look on you. And if you don't want to upload a picture of yourself, you can also just view them on a site model as well. Super easy and so, so helpful. But yeah, you guys can check out all of glassesusa.com's options and take the quiz with the link in my description. Everyone needs a good pair of glasses, even if you don't wear glasses. A good blue light blocking glasses or even all their choices of sunglasses are so, so needed and perfect. So definitely check out that link in my description. Now we can get into the utter mess that was Fifth Harmony and their pitfalls as a girl group. So, Fifth Harmony was a 5-piece girl group comprised of members Camila, Ali, Lauren, Normani, and Dinah. The group was formed on the second season of the X Factor USA after each girl originally auditioned solo. Their solo auditions were actually pretty well received by the X Factor judges, yet even still they were all eliminated from the show. But they were later brought back on stage and told that they were welcome to keep competing on the show as a girl group. This would be the third time that we would see none other than Simon Cowell do this with a group on the X Factor and come out with major success. But their time on the X Factor actually wasn't a breeze. It was nothing easy. It wasn't like they just flowed through and did it really well. They struggled a little bit on the X Factor. They were almost eliminated at one point and had to perform and fight for their spot on the show. There was also those infamous comments from Demi Lovato that Camila was the only one that shined.
But I feel like tonight there was only one person that shined, and it didn't click for me tonight. I want to see you guys click. I think you need more practice together. You need to come out of your shell a little bit. Right now, there's only one person doing it for me. From my group.
Demi, who was the one that clicked for you?
You.
Okay,
Which one?
It took a little interrogation.
We all shine.
Camilla?
Yes, I think you guys should all learn something from her.
Which is absolutely crazy. The tension from the start, phew. During their time on the show, there was also constant criticism from the judges that they didn't blend well together as a group and they needed to work on being more cohesive. They got those comments from the judges almost every time that they performed. But even though they struggled a little bit on the X Factor and received a lot of criticism from the judges, they did have some really good moments regardless. Fifth Harmony actually lasted on the X Factor for quite a while, which I think really speaks to the public appeal. I think it's because at the time, the public was really rooting for a new big girl group in the US because we hadn't seen one in a decade at this point. Plus, this was after Little Mix won the X Factor in the UK and they had a big girl group on the scene. So I think a lot of people in the US were just really rooting for the same thing. So the girls did make it to the finale of the X Factor and ended up finishing in third. But of course, this would not be the last of Fifth Harmony. They announced later in January of 2013 that they would be signing a deal with Psycho and Epic Records. Psycho, if you don't know, was Simon Cowell's record label that successfully launched the careers of big acts like Westlife, One Direction, Little Mix, like I said, Leona Lewis. The list goes on and on. I actually have a video on this channel called The Rise and Fall of Psycho Music, exploring why the record label ultimately failed. If you want to check that out, I talk a lot about Fifth Harmony in that video. But since they were signed to such a big record label that successfully launched so many careers, it was a pretty big deal that they ended up getting the record deal after finishing in third. And I say this about One Direction all the time, but I really do feel like it was a situation where Simon saw their potential in the X Factor and knew from the jump that he wanted to sign them regardless of where they finished on the show. His money-hungry little white man hands wanted success in the States like he had in the UK. We get it. And this is where we begin a very hectic cycle of Fifth Harmony being extremely overworked and milked for all their worth for the money. So I want to take just a little short, brief walk through their career just to stress how much that they were working in the time that they were together. Nothing super in depth, but just enough to get my point across because I do believe this to be one of the main reasons why Fifth Harmony struggled with longevity and didn't really last. AKA pitfall number 1. So when Fifth Harmony got off the X Factor, they were originally just doing a bunch of covers of really popular pop and R&B songs on YouTube just to keep the attention going while they were working on their own music. They released their very first song together in June of 2013. It was called Miss Movin' On, and they released a music video for it as well. But the thing about it is while they were releasing stuff from their first EP, they randomly started going on a bunch of tours and doing a bunch of performances. And you'll notice as we go through this video that this becomes a trend of Fifth Harmony releasing a single and then doing a million performances to promo it. They went on what was called the Harmonized Mall Tour, where they performed some songs off their EP as well as a bunch of covers. Then after that, they went on tour with Cher Lloyd in September, who is another Psycho artist. Then they did 5 pop-up concerts to celebrate their 1 year since being put together as a girl group. Then they went on a concert hall tour called Fifth Harmony 2013. And then a little bit later, they went on tour again as the opening act for Demi Lovato's Neon Lights tour, while they were also on their own tour called the Worst Kept Secret tour. That was 5 shows, I think, that were completely sold out. Then they went on, guess what? Another tour called the Fifth Time's a Charm tour with 18 shows this time. So right off the bat, right from the beginning, They come off of the X Factor and they're doing a million performances, going on tour, pop-up shows, opening for people left and right, when all they had out was a few singles and then a full EP. And it just feels so much like their team was just throwing out shows to see who would attend. And then when they saw that people were attending, they would just keep throwing out shows to keep them busy and keep the money rolling in. It was just very random. I just personally think it would have been smarter to do like maybe a few little performances to promote the EP, but then wait and build up like hype for people to see them on their own tour when they release their album. I think that would have generated the hype a lot more than just like throwing out all these random performances across this country. I almost said state. It doesn't stop there though. There's more. In 2014, they began their new era by releasing a single called Boss, which we know and love. Okay, I work out to that song. It's true. But then they would go on tour again, no surprise there, but this time opening for Austin Mahone. And then here's kind of where we really began what I was talking about earlier, this cycle of dropping a single and then doing a gazillion performances to promote it. Like when I tell you all they were doing ever was performing somewhere live. So they released their single called Sledgehammer, which was humongous. I'm sure you know it. But after they released that, they performed it at the VMAs, the American Music Awards, X Factor, MTV, the AMA's Red Carpet, Good Morning America, Access Hollywood, Billboard, VH1, and Pitbull's New Year's Party on Fox. A million performances. Then their first ever album came out called Reflections, and they did a million more performances. Their album is actually called Reflection with no S, but in this video I keep referring to it as Reflections with an S, so I very, very apologize for that, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. And then they embarked on their first ever world tour, the Reflections World Tour, that had 87 shows total. While that was going on, they released another single called Worth It that had a very hectic performance schedule following it, as usual. They performed on VH1, on Live with Kelly and Michael, Radio Disney Music Awards, the finale of Dancing with the Stars, Good Morning Britain, CBCS Friday Download, Jimmy Kimmel, The Today Show, the season finale of an American TV show, BET Players Awards, and the EMAs. As you can see, this is a rather hectic performance schedule. It felt like they were never not performing or like releasing a single. And mind you, they were also doing promo interviews in between these shows. And I talked about this in my video about Psycho, but this would be the time period when Dinah's grandmother passed away and she was made to watch the burial over FaceTime because she was so busy and working so much that she could not go home to be with her family, which is absolutely insane and kind of speaks to the life that you have when you make it and you become an artist. But this period of time is really interesting too, because in my research of Fifth Harmony, the middle to end of Reflections kind of marked the start of the end of Fifth Harmony, which is so crazy to me because it's literally their first album. Not their first era, because they did have the EP era and then Reflections, but like right when they're just hitting their peak and getting stuff out marks the beginning of the end. They did pull out one more album and sort of hit their very peak with that album before it all fell apart, and that was called 727. And they had a very hectic performance schedule promoting this album as well, same thing as the first one. In February 2016, they released a single called Work From Home. They performed at the After Oscars. They did that ever so famous, iconic Jimmy Kimmel performance where they're literally on a big piece of machinery pretending to work on it. It has become like the biggest meme of their career because why were you doing that? But they also performed at the VMAs, on Ellen, Britain's Got Talent, and the Much Music Video Awards. Then later in May, they would release 727, their second album, and they performed that on Billboard, Dancing with the Stars, iHeartRadio, The Voice Australia, and Sunrise, and then went on another world tour. So Fifth Harmony had very little like album/music out, but were working a lot and performing a lot, and also working a lot while seeing very little money from that. I think another thing that comes up a lot in conversations about Fifth Harmony was that they were underpaid for the amount of work that they were doing. And this was all straight off of the X Factor. It wasn't like they came off and had a break to prepare. It's like they came off and just started working and then never stopped. So it's like all they ever knew from the start was this grueling cycle of releasing something, promoting it, and performing, which prompted that famous leaked video of Lauren having a breakdown to Allie talking about how they were doing slave work.
Actually working us to the fucking bone. Like we did like
decisions on a regular basis to fuck us over, to make us literal slaves. Like literally slaves, Allie. We're doing fucking labor every day and we see nothing.
So I just feel like this overworked history is a huge part of Fifth Harmony's ultimate downfall. I feel like anyone is bound to go downhill and burn out completely when they're working that much in underpaid circumstances, which burned out Camila did get. This takes us to December when she left Fifth Harmony. I feel like Camila leaving the group was a little unsurprising considering her being singled out from the very start. And there was a lot of tension when Camila left the group because the other Fifth Harmony girls posted a statement saying that they were informed by Camila's rep that she was leaving the band and not by her herself. After 4.5 years of being together, we have been informed via her representatives that Camila has decided to leave Fifth Harmony. We wish her well. You harmonizers have been there with us since the beginning. You've supported us, you've rejoiced and cried with us, you've grown with us, and with your love and support, we will continue on. That being said, we are excited to announce we will be moving forward with the 4 of us, Ali, Normani, Danya Jane, and Lauren, for our fans. We are 4 strong, committed women who will continue with Fifth Harmony as well as our solo endeavors. We are excited for our future and we can't wait for what the new year brings. Harmonizers, we're all in this together. We love you with all of our hearts. Then Camila comes back and replies to this statement saying that it's not true and they were not informed by her representatives. This statement is a little bit longer, so I'm just going to read the relevant part of it. But she said, I was shocked to read the statement the Fifth Harmony account posted without my knowing. The girls were aware of my feelings through the long, much-needed conversations about the future we had during tour. Saying that they were informed through my representatives that I was leaving the group is simply not true. Just like the other girls said in their statement about their plans, I had also planned to continue with my own solo endeavors in the new year, but I did not intend to end things with Harmony this way. As sad as it is to see this chapter ending this way, I will continue to root them all on as individuals and as a group. I wish nothing but the best for them, all the success in the world, and true happiness. Then Fifth Harmony releases another statement, still arguing this point, saying that they tried to work with Camila for some time. They mentioned going to group therapy and all these different things, and it was just a mess. I think it was really apparent for a while in Fifth Harmony's career that they didn't mesh as well as they could have, and it all kind of came to a head with Camila leaving the band. I think the fact that in their last statement they mentioned trying to go to group counseling says so much about them in their career. Like, that's literally everything that you need to know about Fifth Harmony. They tried to do group counseling. And this situation not only involves all this overworked stuff that we're talking about, but also just the fact that they were in a setting together that they seem to not want to be in together. Which brings us to pitfall number 2. When people are talking about Fifth Harmony, I definitely think that this is the most popular claim that has ever been made about them in the history of anything ever. Like, you cannot have a conversation with anyone about Fifth Harmony without mentioning the fact that they did not mesh well as a girl group and severely lacked chemistry. And I even touched on this earlier, like the beginning of their career, right from the X Factor, that's exactly what all the judges were saying about them, that they did not mesh well together as a group. So it's so crazy that they started with this and like ended with the same label. I was reading about Fifth Harmony a lot in different online spaces, and I just want to read to you some of the responses that people said, like their general thoughts on Fifth Harmony, because I think it iterates this popular opinion so much. Rays of Gold says, 5 people who have zero onstage or artistic chemistry, seemingly all auditioning for solo careers, more than caring about being in a group together. Girl in Thumb says, I think good chemistry is really important in marketing a girl/boy group, and I've never for 1 second believed those girls liked each other. And Ruin Win says, I've watched a lot of different countries' X Factors and seen lots of groups being put together or trying to catch their break on the show. Some have had great singers, but in the end, the chemistry is the most important. I'm way out of the demographic for all these groups, but I still remember seeing One Direction perform for the first time and knowing they will go far. Technically, it was a bit rough, and as a performance, it was simple, but they were clearly putting in the effort as a group. I really do agree that having chemistry with each other is like one of the number one things that you have to have for a successful girl group or boy band. Especially these days when your brand and persona is so important to your career and success. Like, it's not just about music anymore, whether we like it or not. It's just true. People love a dynamic duo. People love like togetherness, girl power, especially in a girl group. People love celebrity friendships. And if we don't believe you and it doesn't stick out, then you're just not going to make it. And Fifth Harmony struggled with this so much in their videos and interviews together. There's a million compilations of them on the internet, like shading each other, looking annoyed, ignoring each other's answers, like talking over each other, not meshing well a million. Like, you could literally just go on YouTube and look up Fifth Harmony shady moments, Fifth Harmony not getting along, and you'll just find a whole collection of videos of them acting like this in their interviews. So it's like nothing about their friendship seemed super believable. They just acted like coworkers who were supposed to be in this space together because they were working together. And like later in their careers towards the end, it was like super glaringly apparent that they didn't get along with Camila specifically anymore. But it's also like looking back at their career, she was singled out from the very beginning. So I 100% understand how that would kind of set everyone up to have some tension later down the road. Like, what else do you expect when one member is being pushed to the forefront so much? Which also wasn't Camila's fault. So it's like it goes both ways. But after Camila left, they did do a performance on the VMAs where they had like a fifth member that was a mannequin and they threw it off the stage. The video of this performance was deleted. I can literally not find it anywhere. It was erased from the deepest depths of the earth. So I'm going to play a clip from someone's reaction.
No freaking way! They did not just do that!
Afterwards, there was like a lot of backlash about this, so they tried to clear it up by saying the mannequin thrown off the stage was a symbol of them not having a fifth member because so many interviewers kept asking them if they were going to replace Camila. So they said it was a symbol that they would never replace her. And Camila did respond to this and said that it hurt her feelings. I mean, rightfully so. It would hurt my feelings too. But mess. The lack of chemistry with Fifth Harmony, though, wasn't just apparent in their interviews and videos together. It was also an on-stage thing. They were a hot mess on stage all the time and did not show a lick of cohesiveness, which is so crazy to me because the bulk of their career was doing all these live performances. So it's so crazy to me that you could be doing all these live performances and they're always a mess. I did sit and watch many Fifth Harmony performances to prepare for this video, and when I tell you hand over my mouth, like, it was comical. You guys don't understand. There was just lots of messy and like un-in-sync choreo, random twerking, literally crying. Like, I need to know who choreographed for them and why they hate Fifth Harmony. I think such a huge part of the appeal for girl groups is that really cool, explosive, on stage, empowered, energized dancing, in sync choreo, and they just did not bring that in the right way. I mean, I don't know. And it's also like Fifth Harmony had some really cool songs that were super mainstream, really good pop songs and R&B songs that were perfect for good choreo. Like, Worth It goes so crazy when I'm in the gym working out. I work out to Fifth Harmony, I told you that, and I get so distracted by that song because I just want to dance. They had so much room and potential to do the coolest things, and they just didn't. Like, people just threw them on stage and had them do that, which again, in part, isn't their fault, but I digress, okay? So I do think that another reason Fifth Harmony struggled with longevity in their career is due to the lack of like brand and identity. We talk so much on this channel about the importance of brand identity and consistency across the board, and Fifth Harmony had none of that. Again, I think when they were formed, it was so much about making a big girl group in the USA, like for sales and money and the hype, but nobody really stopped to think for a minute, how can we develop them properly in order to make them last? It felt more like throw this group of girls together, crank out some hits, have them be the next big thing. There was no solid thing about them that was their own, that like, this is Fifth Harmony, this is what we stand for, this is what we're all about, this is what we look like. None of that. It's like, who are we marketing to? What's our message to the public? What even is our aesthetic? And I think their lack of a group style in general is crazy. This is another thing that's become super popular to mention when you're having conversations about Fifth Harmony on the internet. Like, everyone is talking about their group style and how uncohesive it was. They always look like they were styled to be at 5 different events. I mean, sometimes it made sense. They did have some outfits that like went together well, but for the most part, it was just so random. And you have to stop and ask yourself what was going on with their stylist. And I think such a huge part of that was the lack of brand and identity. Like, they didn't know who they were supposed to be. So they were kind of just throwing things on them, going out and doing their thing. I mean, they got away with it. So props to them. And it's like, it's not that you should be wearing the same thing all the time or that they should all be dressed in the same thing. It's just like, at least fall into a category that's uniquely you and makes you recognizable. I don't think there was anything about Fifth Harmony that made them super recognizable. It was just a girl group. And it sounds like I'm trying to drag the shit out of them, and it's not that. I think they were good. They just had so much potential to be even bigger and better and last longer if they really honed in on who they wanted to be. And speaking of not trying to drag them, let me add in a section of this video called In Their Defense, because there are some things we have to remember about Fifth Harmony when considering all these pitfalls. In their defense on the lack of chemistry, they were young teenagers who were like cooped up in RVs, working all the time and being underpaid while doing it. I feel like it's like, of course, they would eventually get kind of tired of being around each other. Plus, it's like they all wanted to be solo artists in the beginning. Not only are you around these people all the time, cooped up in R&Bs, being underpaid, working so much, but you didn't even want to be in a group in the first place. You wanted to be a solo singer and just so happened to have a huge opportunity to make it if you agreed to be in a group. And like, who wouldn't take that? I mean, if your dream is to be a big singer and you have Simon Cowell with this huge record label being like, okay, well, I'll make your dreams come true if you join this group, and you're a young teenager, then I feel like, of course, you would agree. And also, you can kind of tell that they were excited to be friends in the beginning. Like, before they released their first album, they had all these little Awesomeness TV clips and YouTube specials where they seemed excited to become friends with each other, but then it just all went downhill after they started working together so much. Also, in their defense, they struggled pretty badly with their team throughout their career and throughout all of this. They had a really shitty management, they were underpaid, and had like no creative control. They were also being sexualized by their team, or like a sexual image was being pushed on them when they were still teenagers and still underage. Like, they did Worth It before they even turned 18, or at least I think some of them were not 18 yet, and Ali and Camila both openly spoke up about how uncomfortable this made them later. They were overall just treated like a cash grab. They had the potential to be better, but definitely at the hands of the team that they had working with them. And these are some of the things you just have to remember when considering their pitfalls. But those are all the pitfalls that I think Fifth Harmony has and why they didn't last past a few albums. Regardless of those pitfalls, though, they did manage to cement themselves as one of the biggest USA girl groups with lots of mainstream hits and success. Aiko wanted a successful girl group in the States, and a successful girl group he got. But I do think that the girls seem so much happier and better suited in their solo endeavors. I'm just really glad they're getting to do what they want with their careers, because it just seems so better suited for everyone involved. They're all killing it, doing what they want to do. So props to them for that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video about Fifth Harmony. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on Fifth Harmony's career. While you're down there, check out the form that I have for video requests if you have anything specific you want me to talk about. I check that frequently. My social media is also all down there. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever you'd like. Also, huge thank you once again to glassesusa.com for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to visit the link in my description to check out glassesusa.com and all the things they have to offer. Get you some blue light glasses, get you some sunglasses, contact lenses, and don't forget, you can literally try on all the frames online with your own photo. So go check out the link. Don't forget. I hope you're all doing absolutely amazing, drinking all the water, thriving, and I'll see you in my next video.